Tara Tarani. First episode. The next day, Aji woke Nooni up early in the morning. She said, Nooni, we have to go to Sarasu's Aji's house today to help with the wedding preparations. There is a lot of work to be done. Get up and have a bath, eat your breakfast, and then we will leave. You know, when the village did not have electricity, my family worked from sunrise to sunset to work the maximum that we could in the daylight hours. That's how I got into the habit of getting up early and sleeping early too. Nooni yawned and stretched out her arms. What work do you have for the wedding, Aji? She asked sleepily. We are going to help with laddus today and papads tomorrow. After that, we are going to make a lot of pickles for the wedding lunch. And of course, we will make some extra to last us throughout the year. Why are you making everything, Aji? Are not there any sweet shop here? What about Haldiram's? In Bangalore, we always buy such things from MTR, Maya's or Haldiram's. Mom does not make laddus, pickles or papads at home. My child, your mother works full time and in the big city where the apartments are small. There is so really no place to store an entire year stock. So the best way to get things is buying smart jars from the market. But in the village you don't have any such shops. And the truth is that we have fun making these goodies. Why do you want me to come with you? What am I going to do there? Nooni wondered. Well, the ladies and I will do the main portion of the work, but you and the other children must help us by running a few errands, said Aji. When your father was young, he also used to come and help me. Nooni nodded and went to the bathroom to get ready. When they reached Sarasu Aji's house, Nooni saw that the house was being whitewashed. She noticed that there were many children from the village. Everybody seemed busy. Some children were bringing ghee from the storeroom. Some were busy washing plantain leaves and dabbas, and others were cleaning the veranda. Suddenly she glanced to the side and saw heaps and heaps of laddus on the veranda. She had never seen so many laddus in her life. She saw Anand standing near the laddus and looking at them hungrily. She went and stood by him. He licked his lips and said dramatically, Nooni, do you know how many laddus they make? There are 2 laddus for each adult and 3 for each child. On top of that, they make extras too. I am so tempted to eat a few, but my mother will get angry if she finds out. Nooni laughed. The wedding was a week away, so Aji and Nooni went to Sarasu Aji's house every single day. There were many people who kept trooping in from different villages and cities, and they all stayed till the wedding was over. Some even stayed in the house next to Acha and Aji's home. Though Nooni did not know many people, there were many girls of her age. There was a lot of noise and fun throughout the day in Sarasu's Aji's house. Many women volunteers kept coming in to help with some of the work. The back garden was converted into makeshift kitchen. Breakfast and lunch were served at the house, and there was a constant supply of tea and snack throughout the day. A shamiana was erected. There were big carpets and mats everywhere. At night, the men slept in the veranda while the women slept inside the house. After discussing food, saris, and Sarasu Aji's lovely gift, the children had fun sleeping on the terrace under the stars. Nooni felt awkward at the informality of the people there. She recalled Vivek uncle's quiet wedding in Bangalore. It had taken place in a hotel and was very short, just about half a day, and without many rituals. She also remembered a wedding that she had attended with her parents at the Bangalore Palace. The palace was completely lit, and there were thousands of people walking about everywhere. There was a parking problem and a big line for the reception. There were plenty of food stalls, including chaat, Thai food, North Indian food, and South Indian dishes. People were more interested in eating the food than the actual ceremony. Unlike the happy wedding at Sarasu Saji's house, Vivek uncle's and the Bangalore Palace weddings were boring. Finally, the wedding day arrived. Aji wrapped herself in best silk sari and Nooni wore a red blouse and the yellow silk langa with her red border. Aji gave her a necklace to wear, but Nooni did not like it. Still, she wore it to make Aji happy. From morning till evening, Acha and Aji were busy with the wedding activities. Since they were old and respected in the village, everyone who attended the wedding came and touched their feet. Aji showered off Nooni to everyone. "This is my granddaughter, Anushka," she said to Vova she met. "She has come from Bangalore to spend the summer with us." Nooni felt a little shy. The variety of food was definitely not as diverse as in Bangalore, but it was tasty and traditional. Lunch was served on plantain leaves. Sarasu Aji told all the women, "Please make sure you pick up a box of mithai from the table on your way out." After lunch, Aji went and stood at the table near the exit and Nooni became her assistant. Boxes of mithai were piled upon it. Aji held a silver bowl with kumkum and offered it all the women while Nooni handed it mithai box to the families as they made their way out. That night, when the trio returned home, nobody wanted to eat because they had lunch at 4 in the afternoon. All three of them were very tired, so they went to bed early. "Aji, tell me story," Nooni insisted once the lights were off. "Nooni, are not you tired? I will tell you a story tomorrow." "No, Aji, I want to hear a story now. Ever since I have come to the village, you have not told me even one story," Nooni persisted. Aji got up and pulled the curtain aside. It was a full moon night, and the moonlight is as if a magic lamp has been switched on, thought Nooni. "I don't see such bright moonlight in the city or in our house." "Aji, how was the moon lit the entire bedroom? You live in an apartment. Your bedroom faces another apartment complex, and all the street lights are on in the night. Then how will you see the effect of natural light in the city? Here we have very few street lights, and there are not any high-rise buildings. My room faces the garden where there's open space and window for the light to come in easily." Now I understand, Aji. Tell me a nice story about the moonlight then. I know you have a story for every occasion. Ginat Nuni. Aji smiled and said, "Of course, what I am about to tell you happened 1,000 years ago in this very village. Long, long ago, there lived a handsome king named Somanayaka. He was a brave, kind, courageous, and very generous. His kingdom lay in the delta between the river Varada and Tungabhadra. There were a thick forest around the area, and many wild animals lived there. Sometimes they would enter village and scare the people, destroy the crops, and eat the cattle. After a number of such complaints and no improvement in situation, the king decided to hunt these wild beasts himself. 2 days later, he went hunting on his horse with his soldiers by his side. Soon he had left his soldiers far behind and lost his way. The day passed and turned into late evening. The king's horse became tired and Somanayaka tied him to a tree and went in search of food. He collected some fruits, ate them and brought some grass back for his horse. Suddenly he felt very sleepy. It was a full moon night and the breeze was cool and pleasant. Somanayaka noticed a flat rock behind some bushes and decided to rest within minutes. He was asleep. Suddenly he was awakened by the sound of girls chatting. He opened his eyes and glanced at the sky. To his surprise, there was a ladder coming down from the moon, which joined some stairs that went all the way from the moon to the earth.